Konnichiwa, all. Lovely to connect with you as I'm here in Kurama, Japan, at the base of the mountain. The 3 years that I've been here in Japan, this is the first time having the opportunity to actually record this podcast while on Kurama, so I'm very delighted to be sharing this energy and to be tuning you all into this space. And for those of you that are not Reiki trained, Kurama is the birthplace of Usui Reiki as we know it today. Usui Sensei, Mikao Usui, had his great Reiki experience on this sacred mountain, one of many mountains throughout Japan and in this area as well, Kyoto, Japan. And we've had a beautiful journey here. This is our second pilgrimage to Mount Kurama, the birthplace of Reiki. We come here to the motherland of Reiki on Mother's Day, and we've had a really beautiful week together. It's been many, many powerful connections and experiences, and lots of beautiful heart openings and clearings, and lots of rain flowing from within our beings and on the land as well. And as I sit here with you this moment, I'm surrounded with beautiful, what is referred to as the new green, green trees and brush all around me, and the ancient cedar trees yonder, and the hills and the mountains, and maple trees all around me, and green maple, Japanese maple trees, which I particularly love. The land here really speaks to you, as most sacred places do. All of land really does. Sometimes in the city it's harder to really feel that or sense that, but when we're more immersed in the elements, we really can feel the guidance of the trees and the birds and the butterflies and the insects, and everything is truly alive and communing and communicating with you. And there's a deep sense of ancient wisdom and presence here in this mountain, and there's also an incredible sense of lightness and illumination and lightheartedness. And one of the beautiful things we learned on this journey from one of our guides, we had Inamoto Sensei, who guided us on Kurama, but we also had one of his students, Kanji, who guided us at several of the different journeys. And he shared with us one of the unique things about Kurama Yama, Kurama Dera, Kurama Temple, Kurama Mountain, is that many of the temples here revolve around deities that are pretty much based in a statue, is what he said. You know, the deity is a statue, but in Kurama, the deity is the energy. That's really the essence of Kurama Yama, is that what is really literally worshipped in this mountain and practiced, and that is embodied in the various incarnations, is the energy of love, the energy of light, and also the energy of the power of the earth, and encapsulated into what's referred to as a trine, as a trinity, the Son Ten, which is an energy, a presence, a spirit, the universe. And you feel that many places that you walk around the land there, the force of energy that is seen in even the trees as their roots are encircled, and also in different parts of the land, the mandalas and portals of energy there that are said that are connected to the heart of the universe that many of us experienced. And as we were blessed to go to the top of the mountain where Usui had his great experience on our journey, we went with Inamoto Sensei in torrential rains that we had the whole day, which was on Mother's Day. Pretty profound cleansing. It felt like the Divine Mother was cleaning everything out. And as we were at the top, there were no others with us, which the rain really blessed us with, clearing out the crowds and the felt sense the field, the fullness, the lightness, the resonance really overtakes you as you stand there and are surrounded with these beautiful ancient cedar trees, and you contemplate the presence of Usui. And many of us, definitely experience his presence as we're there in meditation and in contemplation, and in deep gratitude for the journey that he was willing to take, the courage that it took for him to spend the time that he did, those 3 weeks in a very cold climate. So we got to really experience that in the rain. And to, in a sense, pursue what he felt was his calling to do, and to meet death, or to be graced with Anshin Rutsume, enlightenment, Satori, and unbroken state of peace, which is what he experienced. And I believe I shared this with you possibly in my last podcast, but I've been coming into contact quite a bit with individuals that have had near-death experiences. One that got activated with one of my friends and clients and students, and recently that spurred on this experience with this book and video of Anita Murjani, who had a near-death experience. I highly recommend her book, Dying to Be Me, and expresses and shares with us her experience as she crosses over in dimensions and moves to the inner realms and leaves her body, and has an incredible sense of union and oneness, and no gender, no culture, just an overwhelming sense of love and lightness, and enveloped in an unconditional state, and no judgment, no rules, nothing, that no time, no space, just oneness, no polarities, just oneness, just love, just this overwhelming sense of love. And as she describes this, it so carries the vibration tonality of the way that it's described Usui had his experience on Mount Kurama, his great Reiki experience, which he then shared with all of the people that were with him in the 4 years that followed, this great Reiki experience, which he developed into a system primarily hands-on, but the essence and the intention was more about liberation and a felt sense of this union, of this oneness, of this freedom. In a sense, Usui had a near-death experience, if you will, and he sensed a great bright light that overtook him, and he was enveloped with this warmth, this love, which we all experience when we receive reiju, when we receive attunements, or when we receive treatments. Feel that lightness, that connection, that lightheartedness, and we feel a dissolving of all of our pain, which is what Anita describes experience for her on the other side. No pain, completely relieved of any pain, mental, emotional, or physical, and had an experience and a conscious awareness of who she really is, the magnificence, the amazing essence that she is, this union and awareness and illumination of her spirit, that she is powerful and connected to all of life, and that there is no real God outside of her, that God is her, within her, and in everything, and that she is perfect in and of herself, and that there are no requirements for that perfection or that love. And she describes it so beautifully, and as she described it, and as I read her book and watched her video, she so reminded me of that experience we have in Reiki, and very much the experience that Usui had on Mount Kurama, and that activates healing in the spirit, in the body, and that manifests in different ways for different people. Some people instantaneously, some people, over time. And for, Anita, when she returned into her body, which was a choice for her to take, knowing that she had a purpose, she knew she was whole in consciousness. Her body was completely withered. She had cancer all over her body, and her organs had shut down before she fell into a coma and made this transition. But when she returned, her body was still in that state, yet her spirit knew that she was completely healed. And it was very difficult for everybody around her to really understand her awareness, and everybody could not believe that she was healed, particularly the physicians. And over a couple of days, all of the different medical tubes and resources that she needed to keep her alive were taken away, and her body began to heal, and all cancer was 70% gone, and she knew it was all gone. And the doctors were shocked, didn't know what was happening. She told them, I'm cancer free, and they said that's impossible. With especially the state of cancer that you had, there's no way that cancer can dissolve, can just disappear. So they took all kinds of tests and to get proof of this, and all the tests came completely clear, which is just quite phenomenal. And she shares that, it was my conscious awareness that I knew who I was, which is the origin of all is consciousness. So when we share Reiki with others, we can share Reiki with others at any distance, and joining in that place of consciousness, of wholeness, first with ourselves and then others, then the physical ripples into that state. The physical ripples into that state. And the body then catches up to that consciousness. And, that occurs in different ways for different people. But definitely as we've been here on Kurama, and as we've connected with Inamoto Sensei and in the Reiki share, and on the mountain itself, we've all experienced that sense, that felt sense of consciousness, of conscious awareness of who we are, and a deep cleansing, deep clearing of all that we carry. One of the beautiful things about Reiki is that it is not about denying our humanness. It is about embracing our humanness. It is not about denying our emotional body. It is about embracing our emotional body. It is not about denying that we have bad days or that we have times of confusion or disconnection. It is about embracing all. That's what Reiki does. That's what our daily treatment does. It embraces all of that, envelops all of that, and enables us to, in a sense, mother that part of us, to allow it to return to that place of wholeness. And so I'd like to share with you this beautiful mountain and share some of the sounds, and open up to maybe a field of meditation together as we journey through the different parts of the mountain, and then to the top where Usui had his great Reiki experience. And so I sit here at the entrance of Kurama, and as you can hear, water is a prominent element among all the elements here on this beautiful sacred mountain. As I entered the gates, I felt that sense and field just like the first time I entered this beautiful space. It's literally like walking into a field of Reiki that is tremendous and instantaneously enveloping, and a sense of lightness greets you at the start. And then you're struck by the beauty all around you, including the sounds of the waters and the birds and all the sights and scents, quite overtaking and quite enveloping as well, simultaneously. And so we'll journey up the mountain together, and I'll connect with you as we're at the main temple area where it's said to be connected to the heart of the universe, portal of energy that's the Reiki portal, many say, also connected to the center of the universe, the heart of the universe, Shri Yantra mandala on in front of the main temple. Hmm. And I rest here at the main temple. Hopefully you can sense and hear the sounds around me with the birds and the wind brush and the footsteps. Behind me lies the mandala that is sits at the front of the main temple, and that connects to the heart of the universe, the center of the universe. Often people experience a strong Reiki flow standing in the center of it. All around us, the mountainous vista with Japanese great cedar trees. And beneath the main temple is the inner temple. Quite a sacred sanctuary that is like entering the womb of the mother. And very much being on Mount Kurama is like entering the womb of the great mother. That warmth, that enveloping essence of primal love and that sense of lightness, safeness. And the interesting thing about Mount Kurama is that the main deity that is connected to and cultivated on this mountain was not in order at the time that Usui came on this mountain, which was predominantly a Tendai Buddhist sect temple and mountain, sacred mountain. And since his passing, 50 years or so after his passing, this new sect came into being, which in a sense really reflects the essence of Usui's teachings and the system of Reiki that he developed and that we all feel. So there's a very interesting connection to that. And as one journeys on this temple and in this mountain, one comes into the awareness that we journey to these sacred places, not so much that there's something here for us to get, the same as when we are attuned to Reiki. It's not so much that something is given to us, but more that something within us awakens, and that we receive a gift, a blessing, if you will, and we're cleansed so that we can sense and feel that the mountain is us and the mountain is within us, and these springs, these waters are within us, and that we carry it with us wherever we go. And I'm a firm believer that it often takes journeying to sacred places and sacred mountains and sacred lands to awaken to that sacredness within ourselves, to awaken to that power space within us, the heart of the universe within us, that connection to the center of the universe within us. And that's why we practice daily as well, to allow us to constantly return to that space within us that is the Shri Yantra, that brings us to our center, that brings us to the center of the universe, that brings us to that heart space that guides us and envelops us. And so, my dear ones, I will journey up to the top of Kurama, where it said that Usui had his Reiki experience, and we'll sit together in the midst of the cedar trees and just drink in the sensations and just receive the blessings, receive the spiritual rain, and the Reiju, the Reiki. In a sense, pilgrimaging and journeying is very much like an attuning, a retuning to our soul, to ourself. And as we rest in that space, that field of unconditional love here on Kurama, we're just reminded that this system, this beautiful system that Usui shared with us, is to simply really support us in removing what blocks us from what is natural, what is whole, what is ever flowing in us and in all of life. This field of unconditional love, this field of wholeness, this sensation, this felt sense of warmth and buoyancy, and carried through all the aspects of human life and earth existence, that amidst all of it there is this infinite presence. And that is, in essence, Usui's experience on Mount Kurama, his Anshin Ritsume experience, his Satori, where he sensed that unbroken field of union, of oneness, of peace, and of wholeness, unlike he'd ever experienced before in all of his teachings and journeys and experiences and studies. And my experience is very much the sense of the warmth of that field of the feminine, the warmth of that field of the warm light and the warm essence of love. And as I've come across so many of the individuals that have had near-death experience, it's the very same thing that they describe as they cross dimensions, move to the other realms. And that's the beautiful gift that Reiki gives us, is it brings us that here now, so that in our Reiki self-practice and our practice with others, we get to be in that realm, that heavenly realm, that is not something that is woo-woo, it is real. And we get to experience that here and live that here. That is really what the system of Reiki and Usui created for us, is the ability to remove what blocks us from living in that state of wholeness, in that state of union, in that ethereal heavenly state here on earth, amidst all the challenges of earthly existence and human existence. That's what the 5 Reiki precepts give us, daily basis, the ability to let go of the anger and the worry, and to notice the beauty, and in that to also allow the emotions that may come through as part of letting go. That is the gift of Reiki, again, as I had shared earlier, that it's not about denying our emotions, but to allow them so that they're not blocking us, so that we're a clear river with waters that are fresh and flowing and not stagnant and decaying. And there's a constant, our Reiki practice And our Reiki connection and our meditation practice allows a very clear stream to keep flowing, and therefore for creativity and creation to keep flowing. And journeying here on Kurama reminds us of all of that. It really gives us that sense of, that felt sense. And I look forward now, as I complete this portion, to take you to the cedars and just rest in a soothing meditation to support our really entraining this field, this essence. And before moving into that space, just want to share with you that what's so prevalent throughout the mountain is the reflections of the Usui Reiki symbols. Many of you have heard me, and if you haven't taken a course with me, I look forward to that happening at some point. But one of the gifts that I've received from Franz Steen in his teachings is the teaching that the symbols are really meant to be embodied, or just really a reflection of who we are, and really a reflection of Usui's journey up Mount Kurama, and to assist us to experience that state of liberation, that release of what blocks us from what is here within us and in all of life. And so as we journey on Mount Kurama, we experience the power of the earth. It's ever present as we walk through. It's just all around us. And there's a palpable feeling of the beauty and power and strength and magnificence of all the elements of the earth. The power symbol awakens us to that within us and brings us into focus, brings us into the present, also opens up that flow of creativity that is ever present on this mountain, that is ever present in all of nature, all of the elementals, just creating in every moment. And in that, such a sense of peace, of ease, of flow. And as we continue to journey up Mount Kurama, we come into contact with that sense of warmth enveloped in the grace and in the embrace of the bodhisattvas that shower us with their compassion, their mercy, their blessing, and their care, reminding us that they also are a reflection of what is within us, the bodhisattva within us, and that connection and awareness that compassionate, merciful, blessed field is accessible within us and in all of life, and ever available and supporting us, which the second mental emotional symbol supports us with, harmony and ease in our mental emotional state, moving out of suffering into a place of harmony and intuition and telepathic abilities. And that's not to mean that we don't have mental emotional challenges, from day to day, things that happen that hurt us or make us feel angry. And the beautiful thing about our practice of Reiki is we get to allow that to flow through and to embrace the pain, which is a natural part of life, so that we don't live in the suffering. The mental emotional symbol allows us to experience the emotions, allows the river to flow through so that we don't live in suffering. So it moves through and our heart can stay open and we continue to receive, and then our intuition guides us. And we're directed to the next place, into the next place, into the next place. The mental emotional symbol enables us to connect to that bodhisattva, that heavenly realm within us that guides us and enables us to recognize that we are infinitely guided and cared for. And then ultimately united heaven and earth within us with the third symbol, the interconnected symbol that gives us the ability to share Reiki with, as we've healed, as we've cleared, as we've connected, as we're in that state of ease. We're able to then share that wholeness with others anywhere, any place. And really, the third symbol just brings us into that place of awareness of all origin is pure consciousness. It's all consciousness. Sometimes we have deep layers that are old and painful and block us, and through our connection and through our practice and our treatments and sharing and receiving from others as well, we're able to come back to that place of awareness that we are pure consciousness and we are connected to a field of consciousness, and in every moment we have the opportunity to recreate our experience, to recreate our awareness, to recreate what we'd like to experience in the world. And the third symbol very much reflects what we experience on Kurama, which is that we're interconnected with all of life. We're interconnected with the elements. We're interconnected with the elements. We're interconnected with each other, and we're interconnected with the bodhisattvas, the beings of light, supporting us and illuminating our path. And then ultimately, it's all brought together into one. These three elements overarching with this luminous essence of light and love. The umbrella of it all is this force field of luminous light and love. It's at the core of our essence and at the core of all of life, and keeps us moving forward and connects us to this grace and this flow. And so wanting to share this with you, this felt sense, this connection, this luminous, and the power of the earth as we rest in this beautiful field. And resting here in the sound of the waters behind us, as I sit here in the temple. That's the simplest in all of Kurama, in the area where Usui had his great Reiki experience. At the foot of a great cedar tree that is said to be the incarnation of one of the energies represented here on this great mountain, the power of the earth. Many legends associated to some of the energies that are represented on this mountain that in some interesting way have such a correlation with his system of Reiki and ultimately support that field of illumination and lightness and lightheartedness. Just continuing to rest in presence and receiving the blessings here. Overwhelming message that always seems to come through, that we are so not alone. The beautiful thing about Reiki is it connects us back to ourselves, connects us back to our source, connects us back to each other, a real global community, interdimensional community. And as we are trained and attuned in Reiki, we are definitely interconnected with the lineage of Reiki, that support ever present, Usui and Hayashi and Takata and the other teachers, the other Shihans of Usui and beyond, always available, always available. And one of the things that's very clear in all disciplines is that we must ask for the assistance and help in order for it to come through. Beautiful thing about Reiki is it reminds us again that we're connected to the earth, to ourselves, to source, to the heavens. It's all one. It's all one. And you feel that presence of oneness so strongly as you rest here, particularly at the top of the mountain, and even just as you enter a union with all of nature, all of the heavens, all parts of yourself, as you're cleansed and washed clean. Just clearing those thoughts and emotions that block you from what's ever present. An infinite field of unconditional love. I want to invite you to wherever you may be, whether you're driving or whether you're in your home or whatever space you may be, to take a few cleansing breaths and just sense your feet and your sit bones, wherever you are, rooted into the earth, like these ancient cedar trees, deeply connected, and sensing yourself enveloped in this forest of cedars, with a bed of cedar leaves that have turned into rich earth, brown blanket at your feet. Tuning into the sounds around you, the birds and the bees and the wind. And just resting your hands on your lap, opening to receive the blessing that is here. It's meeting you wherever you may be, whatever you're calling forth for yourself, in body, mind, spirit, in your path, on your life. Just opening to receive that blessing. As you're reminded that there's really nothing that you have to do to receive that blessing. That's the beautiful grace and gift of Reiki. It's available to us anywhere, anytime. And all it requires from us is just an openness, a willingness to receive. And at the same time that you receive this spiritual blessing, just opening to receive the cleansing, the spiritual rain. And just tuning into the strong sense of the presence of the cedar trees, their reflection of the power of the earth, the power within you, the rootedness, the groundedness, that place within that is always solidly present despite your internal or external circumstances, always backing you up, always supporting you, just infinitely present. And as we receive all the gifts, just take a deep inhale, breathing that in, and exhale, circulating that through. And again, inhaling, drinking all that goodness into your being, into your three diamonds. And exhale, circulating that into every inch of your body. And one more time, inhaling into your hara, your heart, and your upper centers. And then exhaling, feeding every inch of your body into your skin and into your aura. And so just carrying this essence with you throughout your day or evening, knowing that at any point you can tune into this sensation. And the beautiful thing that we've learned here on Kurama is that Kurama is really within us as Reiki is within us. It's all a reflection of what's within us. And we carry that wherever we go. And we're given this amazing practice and tool to support us at any point that we disconnect, to help us to come back home within us, come back home in the center of the universe, the heart of the universe that is within us, and that is ever, ever greeting us in all parts of life. The beautiful message of Kurama is this very essence and how it supports us in co-creating a world we all desire to live in. And complete our podcast today with this message and this prayer from Mount Kurama. Since primordial times, life-energizing vitality of the symbol of power of the earth has prevailed. Mount Kurama, imbued with this life energy, a wide variety of life forms resides here in serenity, and the rich natural environment continues to flourish. Since the guardian of heaven, the symbol of light, and the symbol of love, at the beginning, people have continued to flock here to offer their heartfelt prayers. At Kurama Temple today, these three energies are worshipped as a trinity. All those who come into contact with Mount Kurama not only receive the life energy emanating from the mountain, but also become conscious of their own Shing, pure and innocent spirit, and look forward to the dawn of a world of peace and harmony, where the lives of all people will shine with the brightest of lights, to create a world where all lives shine. And so with that, my beautiful friends, I wish you continued journey of enveloped in that felt sense of love and ease and light in the midst of whatever challenge confronts you. I look forward to sharing more with you through these podcasts. My next one will be as we are in Ireland. We are taking a Ireland sacred journey that will have an opportunity to bask in that rich land and spark that richness within us. We have some beautiful guides, some Celtic walks and ancient ruins that we'll be going to, along with just the magical, mystical qualities that Ireland has with the castles and the grand gardens and the legends of the fairies. So, as well as a really rich experience in a monastic environment with beautiful landscape. So do contact us if you're interested in joining. Our journey is July 15th through 13th, and we have a few spaces remaining. And then, of course, we'll be gathering and journeying to Maui at the end of the year in the fall for our annual trainings, Reiki trainings, and sacred journey. And do reach out if you'd like any support one-on-one. I'm available anywhere around the world for one-on-one phone sessions or Skype sessions, as well as in-person sessions in Los Angeles. And we'll be teaching a Reiki training June 9th and 10th. And we'll also be having a delicious Reiki refresher for graduates as I return to Los Angeles, infusing us in this portal of Kurama. And so with that, dear ones, feel free to connect with me at sacredventures.com or reikiunleashed.com. You can find contact info there. And I'd love to hear from you, love to hear your experiences of these podcasts, and love to support you on your path. So much love. Fukuju, many blessings. Satnam, namaste.